one of the artists of the Imagery of Chess St. Louis exhibition. Eugenia Alexander has been called a rising star in the St. Louis art scene by St. Louis Magazine. Alexander creates and interprets stories through geometric patterns and shapes made up from her wild imagination or taken from real life. Her work defines, she uses shapes and patterns in her work, I think I mentioned that, and her work defines the term geometric storytelling, which I think is a phrase that you actually coined.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. She has been studying under a master quilt maker, and she incorporates both African and Native American textiles in her pieces, including in this piece, Out of Time, Out of Mind. She also designs her own textiles. So tonight we're very privileged to have Eugenia back to do a workshop for us. We'll be moving up to the third floor in a little while and invite you to create a piece of your own inspired by Eugenia's work. And now Eugenia will tell us a little bit about her process and her work and what we're going to be doing this evening.
So just to give you a little background on me, I've been painting for about 13 years. I've been sewing and quilting for about a year. I've been designing my own textile prints for about 2 years as well, and I'm getting into textile hand dyeing as well. And so today we're going to be making our own fabricated stories with fabric. I use a lot of authentic African printed fabric. Mainly because it's scraps from my grandmother, and so I wanted to keep that tradition. Her mother taught her how to sew, and then she's teaching me how to sew. Along the line, I would like to teach others as well as my children how to sew as well. And so it's like keeping that family tradition and keeping that piece of my grandmother in my artwork as well, from her teaching me how to sew and whatnot. So this piece is Out of Time, Out of Mind. Just to rephrase the story if you guys didn't hear the story. So it's about a queen, and she is a manipulator of sight and time. One eye represents time, one eye is the manipulator of sight and time. And so underneath all of the manipulation and golden chaos, there is an actual chess game going on. There's actual chess coordinates going on. And so that was the whole point of wanting to make this piece. I wanted people to question, what does it exactly have to do with chess? And to actually go fishing and to find those coordinates that are chess notations and whatnot. And so it's kind of funny, when I was making the piece, I knew that I wanted to do something on a female perspective. Not perspective, but a female in chess. So I picked a goddess to do. And so I didn't know exactly how I wanted the painting to look. I never sketch out anything. I just like free form, like I start with a shape and it organically grows from there. And so I started off, I researched like a couple of intense or hard games in history, like the top hardest chess games in history. And I wanted it to be short but intense. And so I picked one game. I can't remember off the top of my head what game that was, but it was like a really old game from maybe the 1800s, I do believe. And in the middle of writing the coordinates, I couldn't even finish the game because I myself got lost in trying to remember which lines were which, what movements were which. And so that's when I came up with the title, Out of Time, Out of Mind, because myself, I got so lost, I got a headache, and I was like, I have to stop. I can't do this anymore. And so whenever we're finished, if you want to come down and take a look and see, you can just tell by the different shapes of the painting. If you guys want to get closer, you can. The movement of the castling movements, and then the bishop, the diagonal movement, and then the knight movement and stuff like that. And so yeah, so today we're going to be making our own stories. It doesn't necessarily have to be a face. It can be whatever you see, your interpretation in the fabric. And so that's usually how I work, whatever I see in that fabric, different shapes and whatnot. I'll see an eye, I'll see a nose, I'll see eyes, or I'll just see different things. And so that's what we're going to be working on today. So just feel free to let your imagination run wild with all of the fabric that I brought for you guys to work with today. So if anyone has any questions, we can head up to the 3rd floor. Okay. None of my sisters are here, yeah.
Oh, no, just
Oh, I forgot to get like a bowl.
lunchtime.
We're
waiting for like another 2 people. But I think
I was about to say, did you want to wait, or we can just go?
started,
No,
and
yeah.
then they can join us because chances are that there's milk that usually goes straight to the bistro.
Oh.
And then after half an hour,
And then,
they
yeah.
come over here.
Yeah.
So I think we'll get started.
No, yeah, totally.
Okay, it's 6:30 and I believe I'm starting on time, relatively on time. So.